Hi everyone, it's Jeanette and my mom Connie back again with JB's Explore and More. Had a little side delay with my trip to the hospital there. I'm still home recovering, but since I have time on my hands and I'm getting bored, I decided to actually get up this morning and put on some makeup and thought we could do a little video addressing some of your comments to the videos that we've made about our decluttering journey at my mom's house. Doesn't require me to lift anything or move too much, so this is something that I can do. And I will say that since I put on some makeup, it does make you feel a little bit better. It's almost like tricking your body into believing that things are back to normal, but my cough is still saying otherwise, unfortunately. So without further ado, let's get started on this. We're starting with the third video this time. The second video that we did on this journey was about when we got rid of the motorhome, but there weren't really a lot of comments on that one that we could really address about the decluttering process. So this one is called How Homes Fill with Stuff. This is the third video in our decluttering series. So we got, I think it was 17, maybe 24 comments on this one. I appreciate those very much. Keep those coming, please. And we will start off with the first one by Little Deb's Creative Crew, LDCC. 12 days ago, she says, just wondering if your mom wanted to make cards or crafts on your channel for my online art show. You could get more followers. Would you guys be interested? All you would have to do is use my group hashtags in the title of the video. I already expressed this to my mom, told her about it. I have never heard of this type of thing before, so it's a foreign concept to me. If anyone else has heard of this or done it before, please let me know. But right now at this time, Mom is not interested in doing that kind of thing. So.
We haven't got the craft room even close to being organized yet, so there's no way I'm going to be digging through papers and pens and inks and stamps.
Yeah.
Not until maybe a month, maybe 2 more months before we get that room all cleaned up.
Yeah, so maybe that might be something we entertain in the future. Okay. Melissa Castle said, really interesting video, new subscriber here. We appreciate you, Melissa. Mrs. C48 says, your mom has a lot of insight into how she got to this point. I'm in the process of purging craft supplies and collections, which is how I found your channel. Crafting, shopping, horses, and cats. That's me too.
Wow, hey, go girl.
You and my mom could be best friends.
Yeah, we can be besties.
Do you live in Illinois? You guys have a lot in common. That's funny because that's the comment that I wrote. You two could probably be best friends. Okay, PQ190 said, yes, she is a hoarder. There are different levels of hoarders. My mom doesn't agree. She doesn't think she's a hoarder. But
yeah, we was watching videos and stuff, and they people cleaning hoarding houses. I mean, they're using shovels and cleaning trash. I mean, total trash out of these people's houses. And my house wasn't that bad. I mean, I had some areas where we did have to remove the rugs and stuff because we had a leak and a mold and stuff. But most of my stuff isn't garbage. It's mostly collectible stuff. Lots and lots and lots of collectible stuff that takes up lots and lots of room. So yeah, I don't consider myself a hoarder, but in a way, I call myself a collector.
We did find areas too that had a lot of mice nests and mice droppings and drawers and cabinets and things like that because there was a lot of stuff, so therefore the mice could hide behind the stuff and the cats couldn't get to them. So there was that issue as well. And then Mom is currently still decluttering her house right now. It's a long journey, and she told me that she took out how many bags of trash yesterday?
Probably about 5 more things of garbage.
Yeah, so is that just papers?
I kind of worked off and on all day, and I took out things that were still kind of like garage sale stuff. I put them by the door, and I cleaned up a lot of stuff. I probably threw away at least 4 garbage cans full of paper, just paper.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
That's pretty incredible. A lot of the decluttering and organizing videos I watch on YouTube, one is the Minimal Mom. They say just to go through your house first with a garbage bag. You would be surprised at how much trash you're going to get out of your house just with a garbage bag. And start with a black garbage sack, not a clear one, because you'll be tempted to take stuff out of it. So just get a black garbage bag. And of course, the 3 categories you start with are keep, donate, trash. Well, you could add the 4th category of sell if you want to mess with that too. Takes time and energy, but for those who want to recoup a little bit of their money, you could do that too.
Yeah, I've got 5 boxes that are sitting in my dining room right now, and I need to declutter them. So I spent 3 hours yesterday just going through 3 boxes of paperwork. Like, ugh. But I'm glad I did, because yeah, probably out of the 3 boxes, one box is totally garbage. So I threw it away, and my house is starting to look really nice right now. I'm excited.
I looked up the definition of hoarder, and what AI says is a hoarder is someone who compulsively acquires and keeps excessive amounts of items, even those that are considered useless or worthless by others, and experiences difficulty discarding them, leading to significant distress and impairment in daily life. Hoarding can interfere with the ability to use living spaces for their intended purposes and negatively impact health, work, and social relationships.
That's pretty good. Well, according to that, except for the garbage part of it, I'm pretty much a hoarder, because my house got so bad I wouldn't let somebody come over and come in my house. It's like there's no way I want anybody to see my house the way it was.
And there were rooms in your home that you could no longer use.
Right.
How many?
Computer room I still use. Barbie's room, I used Barbie's room for storage, so it was in use, but it was just like, it was totally full, and that was storage. And I couldn't use it for like a relaxing room, or somebody coming over staying all night. I couldn't use it for the original purpose. My front room, I just ended up having just one little chair, and didn't have no TV, didn't have nothing. The TV broke, I didn't have that. So basically I was living in the front room with just one little chair. And my dining room was full of stuff. I couldn't even get to the table to eat. The kitchen was full of stuff. I just like, ugh.
You couldn't open your microwave door at one point, right?
Oh.
There was stuff in front of it on the
Yeah,
counter.
there's a lot of stuff stacked and stuff. But I couldn't cook because my stove was covered with boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I couldn't cook.
Yeah.
But I kept the dishes cleaned up, and I could use the microwave.
So it wasn't like, your house wasn't full of garbage and trash like we've seen on some of the hoarding shows, but you did have unusable rooms, and your little craft room was unusable as well.
Yeah, and even the craft room, it was so full, and I ended up putting so many stuff on the floor that when you open the door, you couldn't even go from the door to the desk or to make something. So yeah, I got where I couldn't use it.
Or you forget what you had and you couldn't find it, type of thing.
Oh yeah. Well, if I could have got in there, I could have found it, because I was really organized. But the inside of the room was pretty organized, except I just got too many boxes to put on the floor, and so I couldn't even get to it anymore. It's like, yeah, so I couldn't use it.
Says here, distress and impairment. I already read that part. Not the same as collecting. While collecting is a hobby involving organization and selective acquisition, hoarding lacks organization and often involves items of little or no value. Types of hoarding is object hoarding, accumulation of various objects like paper, books, or clothing. Animal hoarding, excessive acquisition of animals. And other types, compulsive shopping. So how many cats did you used to have?
I ended up with 32 cats at one time. It started off, we lived kind of like on a farm, and people are not responsible for their own animals, so what do? They drop off pregnant females at my house in my barn, and out of 2 females, each one of them had a litter, and each litter was 6 kittens. And 1 cat was wild, so she hid. And 1 cat wasn't. Well, I caught her and I caught her babies, and I got them all sterilized and neutered. But the ones that I couldn't catch, they got pregnant and had kittens. And within a year or 2 years, I had 32 cats.
Holy cow.
32 cats.
They multiply fast.
Yeah.
But you have a good heart, and you're just trying to care for these animals, and a soft heart, and you know, it's not that it's a bad thing, it's just that that's way too many.
Well, some of them, I found homes for some of them, but most of them, once I seen them and raised the kittens and stuff, I fell in love with all of them. I loved everyone. They were like my little children again, you know, my furry little children, and I got them, everybody that I could catch, I got them all neutered and spaded and stuff. I spent thousands of dollars on animal care. But yeah, it's like 32 cats. I had them in the house, I had them in the barn, I had them in the garage. I had them all over the place.
How much did it cost you to feed them per month?
Oh gosh, probably close to $800.
Woo! That's a house payment.
Yeah, I probably spent at least $800 between kitty litter, horse food, and cat food. That's probably $800 a month.
Now, hoarding disorder is recognized as a mental health condition, and it can also be associated with other conditions like obsessive compulsive disorder. Do you think you have that?
That I do have. That I do have.
And how would you describe that?
I don't know. It's kind of like if I go to the store and I see something that's shiny, I'm like, oh boy, it's like my ears go up and I gotta go and see what it is because it shines. And then if I run over there and look at it, and if my trigger wood was cute. If I said to myself, oh, that's so cute, I would pick it up and take it home. So I recognized the word cute was a bad word to me. So then I got where if I go to the store and say, this is really cute, I'd put it back down.
Yeah. I've been watching another YouTube channel called Midwest Magic Cleaning, and he does a great job, Mac, on cleaning hoarder homes for free. And he also lives in the same state that we live in, Illinois. I wish he lived closer to us so he could help with some of my family members. But he said in one of his videos, and I found this very interesting, I just watched it yesterday, that in a lot of the houses that he has cleaned, he has noticed a lot of craft supplies. He said that hoarding disorder and crafting supplies seems to go hand in hand. There's some kind of creative component, you know, involved with the person. So I just thought that was interesting because that also fits my mom.
Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Cotton Candy, Darling Life says, hello Jeanette and Connie. Thank you so much for this video. You both are going to help so many people. Keep up the fabulous work.
Good.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
Thank
what
you.
we want to do. We want to help other people by doing this and by sharing our experiences and stuff and our feelings about what's going on. I'm hoping that other people can relate to what we're going through, and then it will help them.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to do what we're doing. It's very emotionally hard.
Well, I was just saying in the YouTube video that I made during my hospital stay that I think as human beings it's important for us to share our vulnerabilities because that's what makes us human. It's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed about. I think that the more that we share stuff like this, the more other people can relate to it, learn from it, empathize with it. So I think it's a good thing to talk about, communicate. This other lady says, midlife minimalist. Hoarding is a trauma response, so what your mom said about what she has been through is probably true. And love the kitty. Typical cat too, loving on you 1 minute then having a fit.
Yeah.
She's talking about my mom's cat, little girl. Oh boy, that cat is something else.
Oh.
When I first met that cat, I was taking care of it because mom went on a trip to visit a friend, and that cat was scared of me, and it would hiss at me and run and hide underneath the bed anytime I would come around. And now it acts like I'm its best friend because it's become used to me as I've been working over there over time. And every time I go over there now, it tries to climb me like a tree. She's skinny, and I don't know, I've kind of gotten attached to her. She was my least favorite of the 4 cats, and now I'm a little attached to her. I'm going to admit it. What is the part here? Hoarding is a trauma response, so what your mom said about what she has been through is probably true. I don't remember what you said before, but yeah, we've had some trauma in our lives, in our
Well,
past.
Just recently and stuff, it was like losing my husband,
Oh,
losing 3 horses all in a
Yes,
year, and
yes.
losing 8 cats. I lost 12 things I loved all within a year or 2 years.
That's a lot.
And that really just about buried me. I mean, I just kind of gave up. I didn't care about anything after that. I mean, I just did not care about nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it probably starts when you're younger. My grandma was a classic hoarder, her mom, and maybe it's kind of a learned behavior. Maybe it takes root when you're younger, or a trauma that happens when you're younger, and then it starts developing slowly throughout your life. Because I think time is the enemy of a hoarder. Over time, they collect more and more things, and then it just keeps accumulating. And then yes, there's usually like a death in the family or something like that, and then that's usually when it catapults and becomes worse.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry for the background noise. My husband's in the kitchen cooking. If you hear clinking of pots and pans, so.
Oh, another thing about my mom and people her age at the time, she died in 2004. She was 70-some years old in 2004, but she grew up during the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of Depression babies are hoarders because they were taught you do not throw away anything. She wouldn't even throw away a piece of string because she thought she would be able to use it later.
Yeah.
So that's a
Gra-
lot of her problem.
Yeah, grandma say bread wrappers, you name it. If it was like
Tin foil.
a butter, container,
Butter dish, yeah.
butter dish, there's a joke on Facebook with those now. Going to grandma's house and you open up the fridge and it's all butter dishes because it's filled with leftovers and you don't know what's in what butter dish.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny because it reminds me of my grandma.
Yeah.
Rita Vernoy says maybe a local art teacher would be happy with the crafting supplies.
They would love my crafting supplies. I spent thousands of dollars on my crafting supplies. Thousands.
Okay, Patricia Irwin says, sorry to make so many comments, but I keep thinking of things. Dana K. White is an organizer who suggests the container method. If that room is going to be her craft room, she has to decide she can only keep what fits in that room. I love that idea. That way she keeps only what is her favorites and donates what doesn't fit into that room.
Yeah.
Or whatever you decide should be for her crafts, perhaps 2 rooms. Something to think about to make her focus on not keeping all the supplies. Again, I don't think she's a hoarder. They cannot part with anything, including garbage. Your mom is just a creative, wonderful person who has many passions in life.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
The container method.
Yeah. Well, we've already discussed this, and we've already kind of decided whatever fits in my cabinets, that's what I'm going to keep. And the rest of it, I just have to go through, and anything that doesn't fit in a certain spot, we're just going to have to get rid of it because I know I don't have room for all that stuff. I know I don't. And I did pretty good until a lady had her craft stuff, her rubber stamps on sale. She had 800 of them. And my girlfriend was getting into it at the time, and I bought $800 worth of stamps so that my girlfriend could go through them because she wasn't there at the time. And I thought she would buy a lot of them for me, but she did not buy them. So I ended up with probably 600 stamps I did not need.
Yeah, you just couldn't pass up the bargain. Sounds like
Bargain.
somebody I know, Grandma.
Bargain. Yeah, bargains.
Okay, and Patricia also said it is hard to clean and declutter as we get older. Your mom is lucky she has you to help and motivate.
Yeah.
My house is small and a mess and so hard for me to do anything. In time as you help her, I hope your mom begins to realize she could still donate a lot of her craft items to art schools, child care places, girls clubs, senior centers, etc. She can only do so many crafts and so much supplies she'll never use. Again, you and your mom are so cute, and I think she'll donate or sell a lot more as time goes on. I'm amazed at how much she has done. Yeah, time to minimalize. I don't think she will buy as much as she realizes she'll never be able to use it. She's lived a great life, but as we get older, we realize it's just too much.
Yeah. I treasure all my stuff. I mean, I bought them because I liked them and stuff, and I treasure my things and stuff. But yeah, I do realize that as you get older, you don't need as much things as you had. I think some of the things I do and stuff, when I buy things with it in mind that I'm going to share them. That I hardly ever buy anything that I don't think about giving it to somebody else or letting somebody else, I started making jewelry. And in my mind, I'm like, this is going to be fun. I can have my family up here. We can all get together and make jewelry and earrings. And I can make jewelry and give it to them for gifts. And so I do a lot of that. So, but, yeah.
And Patricia, don't apologize for too many comments. That's totally fine. We love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Her third comment, she says, your mom reminds me of my 84-year-old sister-in-law, who also is very creative. My sister-in-law never had any money, so her crafts were made out of things discarded by others. She had brain surgery and a stroke in 2017, paralyzed on right side, but still does crafting and makes beautiful things. She and I always went to thrift stores and bought stuff for her to use for crafts. I love that you repurpose things. That's, one of my things. I love to repurpose anything I can find. I mean, why not try to reuse something and keep it out of the landfill?
That's sometimes a problem that I get into, though. I'll see different things and I'll think, oh, I can use that for making a card, or I can make that for my scrapbooking. So that's how I end up with a lot of supplies.
My mom actually has a recent story about that with some wood that she saved. You want to tell that story?
I've always if I find a piece of wood or a piece of plywood or something somebody else threw away and stuff, I'll dig it out of a dumpster and I'll say, well, that's perfectly good. Plywood costs so much money, it's like $44 a sheet or something like that. So I hate when people throw away good lumber. So I'll dig it out. I'll take 2x4 home. I'll take sheets of plywood home with me. And I actually did, and I've got a little area in the garage where I store all my lumber. And a man recently came and repaired a hole in my ceiling where I had some water damage. And he actually asked me if I had any spare 2x4s. And I'm like, yes, I do. I do have some 2x4s. And he was thrilled because he didn't bring enough with him to fix the hole that he needed fixed. So I'm like, yes, it paid off. Finally paid off that I saved something.
Yeah. Made mom feel good to actually be able to repurpose something.
Yeah.
Patricia's like I am. I usually comment about a minimum of 3 times on a video that I watch. It's usually always 3 times. I don't know. I comment as the video is going along rather than waiting to the end because I'm afraid I'll forget what I want to say before the video is over. So she says anything you took out that the cats could have peed on, I would get rid of. That urine can cause health issues for anyone around it.
Yeah, we throw away a lot of stuff like that. Anything that's like cardboard or paper or absorbent kind of a thing, we throw that away. Clothes, blankets and stuff, I put that in the washing machine and we wash that with vinegar and baking soda and stuff and get the smell out. And if it doesn't come out where it still smells, I wash it 3 or 4 times. But if it still smells, we throw it in the trash.
Okay, here's a long one. Nancy Rolfe. You are the sweetest daughter. I can't explain this. But when you get older, it's just harder to get going, and especially after losing someone you love for many years. With people who aren't really hoarders, just need someone to help and get rid of things so we don't have to go through it. I bet she doesn't even remember a lot of the things you got rid of. So strange, but everything seems to be more stressful, harder to deal with, and our minds just don't seem to process things as easily. I know she will feel so much happier. She won't be overwhelmed, and I bet she keeps up with the cleaning. As far as her craft supplies go, they bring her joy, especially the red rubber stamps. I understand. I love my art craft things, and when I'm not feeling well, just sitting in it lifts my spirits. You want to stop and comment before I read more?
What she said, the first part.
The first part? She's saying it's hard to get going.
Yeah.
If you don't have somebody to help you.
Right.
She bets that you don't remember a lot of the things you got rid of. and that everything seems to be more stressful, harder to deal with, and our minds just don't seem to process things as easily.
Yeah, it was super hard for me to start. I mean, she would come over and say, "Well, we need to clean this or we need to clean that," and I would almost get the shakes. I would get so much anxiety in me and stuff. And when we first started, I did good just to clean maybe 2 boxes of stuff. And it's just like, and if you says, well, let's do this, let's do that, I'm like, wait, you're overwhelming me, you know, and stuff. So we just had to take it slow. And
Yeah.
once we did that, once we got going though, and it snowballed and stuff, then I was really into doing it. I was into doing it more, and I could see the difference, and I appreciated all the help. If she wouldn't help me, I would have never done it. I couldn't have done it.
Yeah, I'm a big picture person and a planner, and I'm always planning ahead, and so we're different in that regard. Like, I'm thinking of all the rooms we need to clean, and Mom's like, let's just focus on one, which I totally understand that, because it can get overwhelming if you're thinking 3 steps ahead. I know she will feel so much happier. She won't be overwhelmed, and I bet she keeps up with the cleaning. Funny you mentioned that, because she's still cleaning. Even yesterday, she was cleaning her bedroom and sending me pictures last night, and that always brings me joy.
Yeah. I spent probably, I bet you 8 hours yesterday off and on. I'd get up, clean for maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes or something, sit down, take a break. But I cleaned all day yesterday, and the heat, it was hot. I don't run the air conditioners right now, and it was hot, but I got a lot done yesterday. I scrubbed floors, I vacuumed, scrubbed up the cat hair off the bathroom floor, made the beds, did 2 loads of laundry, cleaned up my laundry room. I had some stuff down there that was clutter, and I eliminated that. And yeah, every time I declutter something, I go around, take a picture, and then send it to my daughter and say, look what I did. And she always like, good for you, keep going. And she encourages me, so yeah, I keep going.
Yeah, she did a lot. That was a lot, and I'm really proud of her for doing all of that. As far as her craft supplies go, they bring her joy, especially the red rubber stamps. I believe that as long as she can keep it organized with a place to put her things, then it's okay for her to have all of it. That's the key. I don't think we're going to have space for all of it, to keep it nicely organized to where she can actually find everything.
The thing is, it's like, I'm a very organized person. And one of the things that was the most fun for Mary and I when we got to doing this is we made catalogs of all the stamps we bought, and that was organized and everything, and then we put them in boxes and we had them all labeled, and we took each stamp and we coated it with a clear coating, varnished it so that it doesn't stain, and that was part of the fun, was cataloging, making catalogs.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Yeah. I do the same thing with stuff that I have, so we share that similarity of cataloging and indexing. Like my photos, all my digital photos, I have an index on my computer for those. Although it's still a work in progress because I have probably 1 million photos. Let's see. Being creative this is the same comment, by the way. Being creative does such good for the soul and spirit and mind, which is especially important at our age and after losing her significant other. I'm sure that it is a good thing to keep your mind occupied with anything that you enjoy, whether that's exercise, crafts, going to the movies, whatever you like to do.
I read somewhere and stuff, it's like when you're creative, you're getting in touch with your inner child, and that's what makes you have the joy and the excitement and the creativity and stuff. And you can just do something small and just enjoy it so much.
And you're making something.
Yeah.
So that's like an achievement and a talent.
Yeah. And then I usually make it and give it away.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This next comment's so nice. She said, I couldn't have children, but if I had, I feel blessed beyond words to have you with your sweet, kind, caring, and giving spirit.
Oh, yeah. She's a good daughter to have. She's the best daughter to have.
You have changed her life significantly. I know you've added years to it because you will have taken tons of quiet stress and that feeling of being too overwhelmed to know where to start, how to go about it. That's a huge load of negativity gone. I can sense her excitement now. I pray you know what you've given to her and that you're a rare gem. That's not one little bit of arrogance, judgment, or embarrassment when you are filming with her. It's your love for her that comes through. Truly nothing is worth more than her and her feelings. Brush off anyone who tries to say something about the way she chooses to live. None of us are perfect, but your mother appears to be a kind and sensitive soul. She really loves you too. You're very insightful.
Yeah.
I have offered prayers up that you are blessed beyond measure for what you have done and continue to do. Sorry for the novel, you really touched my heart. P.S. I'd love to see all her red rubber stamps. I just got into cards a couple years ago after retiring from decades of teaching math. Oh no, math! That's my least favorite subject. I always loved reading and literature.
If you want to see all my rubber stamps, whenever as we're going and we're sorting them, I'm going to sort them out and put them in piles, and I'll put a lot of videos up about what I have and what I want to keep, and all the things we're going to donate or give away or sell or whatever. So there'll be plenty of pictures.
Yeah, I'd really love to get to that kind of video real soon. However, my mom doesn't run her AC in the summertime, and we've had a heat advisory here in central Illinois, and I won't work in those conditions. So
Basement's cool.
if the basement's cool, then I will. I'll
The
just have to
basement's
test
like-
it out.
It's like 10 degrees cooler in the basement.
But I don't want to get heat stroke, so.
Oh, yeah, my basement's cool.
Plus I have to get better first, unfortunately, and I'm getting very frustrated and starting to get a little depressed today about the healing, how long the healing is taking on this, because I'm in week 6 now and it's interrupting my life. And I'm a person who likes to do things, and I don't like having to sit on the couch all the time. Okay, she says, I can't find any place that makes them now, the stamps. They are my favorite type of stamps and so much better than the clear ones that are now the ones people seem to love and want over the red rubber wood mounted stamps.
Oh, yeah.
You can still buy the red ones, can't you?
Well,
Well, Hobby Lobby
has them.
closed. They just closed.
What?
Or not Hobby Lobby. I'm thinking of Joann's.
Joann's closed, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Joann's.
Don't scare me.
Don't make me
I'm like,
laugh, it
"Ah."
hurts.
My craft store closing? Oh, no. Yeah, when I cleaned out my paperwork and stuff, I actually found a thing where they had listed all these rubber stamp stores that were within Illinois, Iowa, Chicago, Indiana, places we wish to go. And I mean, there was probably 300 different stamp stores. And I bet most of them aren't in business anymore.
I think I read a comment earlier on a different video. Someone said that they think rubber stamping is a dying craft, and I agree. I think it is. It's just not as popular as it used to be, just like scrapbooking.
Yeah, and I think that's strange, because number one, if you have a rubber stamp, it's forever. If you got it, you have that thing and stuff, and as long as that image is good and the rubber's good on it, as long as you got ink and paper, you can stamp 100,000 cards with that thing.
But I think what she's getting at is like the fad of it being a popular craft.
Yeah.
You know, I think crafts kind of come and go, like fads, but certain ones stay popular forever, like knitting and crocheting.
Yeah, why? I noticed on Facebook now that they got the people, card makers are back on show.
Are they?
Yeah, they're showing their cards again.
Like, here's a good example, macrame plant hangers.
Yeah.
In the 70s, that was like all the rage. Everybody was making macrame plant hangers. My stepmom made me a pink one for my bedroom, and I think I learned how to macrame a little bit too. And they were everywhere in all the homes, and then they went away for 15, 20 years, whatever. And now they're back again. Macrame is a popular thing again. I'm seeing them in a lot of the, the boho van life videos that I watch on YouTube. Women decorate with macrame in their homes and in their vans. So yeah, it's back again. It recycled. So some of these crafts recycle over time.
I think it's the parent, and a parent does it, and I think they kind of, when they had kids and stuff, they'll say, oh, when I was younger, we used to make these plant things, and here you got your own home now. You got plants, we'll make you a plant thing. And then she shows you how to do it.
Yeah.
And then once you learn, you go, oh, this is so neat. I'm going to make one for my friend. And then it starts all over again. I think that's how it goes.
Another craft that used to be popular in the 70s when I was a kid was string art.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody doing that today.
No, I don't see string art.
I thought it was really cool though.
Now it's like that diamond.
Oh, we have a diamond
painting stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. They're beautiful, but
yeah.
I'm like, where would I hang it once I get it done? So I don't get into that one.
Mm-hmm. So I think you can still find those stamps. Maybe, I mean, garage sales have them and pretty cheap, and secondhand stores.
Hobby Lobby still has them, and Michael still has rubber stamps. Not as much as they used to, but they still have a selection, a small selection. And I agree, the wooden stamps, I treasure them. Because I use them for like little picture frames or whatever and stuff. They stand up by themselves. They have the color on them and stuff, and the clear ones with that's just the rubber things. And yeah, they're not as pretty to me. They're not as collectible to me. But I have a large selection of them because when I have so many wooden stamps, I run out of room. So then when I wanted to buy new stamps, I bought the clear ones because they're flat and easy to store.
Mm-hmm. She said, I'd have bought 800 for $1 a piece too. She knew what a great bargain she got. Blessings to you both.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Nancy. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. LIAELIS 444 says, Connie and Jeanette, we are here to support you both on this journey of keeping the gems and letting go and blessing others with the rest.
Yeah.
And I think that was our last comment. So we appreciate all of those. And we'll be back probably next month and do another one of these types of videos. Please keep the comments coming, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks so much.
Bye. I love all of you. Thank you for the comments.
We just had a visitor, a surprise visitor. A dog just ran right into our house.
And he kissed me right on the mouth.
I don't know who it belongs to, but he's awfully friendly. Is it a girl?
Female.
Hi there, you're so cute.
She got a little titty. She had pups.
Tim, let's. Oh no, not a good place.
No.
Not a good place. It can't get on my stomach.
Go over this way.
It's okay. It's okay.
Where did you come from?
It's very.
The thing just came up to me when I was outside the grill and scared the shit out of me.
Well, I hope you didn't get out somebody's yard.
All right, come on.
Oh.
What's that?
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Come on. Come on. Come on.
I wonder if you should take a picture and put it on Facebook.
I was outside grilling, she ran her up.
Sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. Someone's gonna steal her one day. Because we don't have a fenced-in yard. My landlord won't let me get a fenced-in yard, and I don't need the fence. Bye-bye, sweet doggy. What a sweet dog.